So when I think about drumming, my earliest memory would have to be sort of early 80s, and my older brother, being the drummer in the family. So just listening to him, really, I remember him buying this drum kit, and he had it set up in our sort of lounge. And I came down the stairs and I came into his room, and there it was, and I just was mesmerised by this kit. It was a white Pearl Export, actually. So just a backstory, any kits that I've ever played, I always make sure that I have a white kit, and it's sort of my tip of the hat to my brother's kit. My first gig, paid gig, it was with an American gospel artist called Dawkins and Dawkins. It was like an R&B group, and they came over, and I got a call from an MD, and sort of went and kind of like rehearsed it up, and then before you know it, was there doing the show, sort of thing. Yeah. So, and then that led into sort of doing gigs in London around '99. I think as a session player, I think your primary purpose for being on the job is to serve the music. So from a personal standpoint, I always listen to the records, sit with the MD, find out what he wants from me, what he wants me to bring. Obviously they've booked me and for the way I play and for the style, but I sort of pride myself on, you know, recreating the records and trying to do what's required. If I'm asked to do more, I'll always do more. But I'd sort of adopt the old cliche, really, where less is more. And if I'm asked for it, then I'll deliver that thing, really. And I guess, you know, each gig that I do requires a different thing, so I try and be pliable to all genres, to all styles, you know. I really like the DTX. It's very simple to use, and it's sort of, you can do a lot of different and cool stuff with it, if you so need to. But I use it in a very basic way. I have a different selection of sounds that I trigger at different points in the show. I have them just coming out of two assignable outputs, highs and lows, so claps, finger snaps. Back for good, I have like 808 snare, and then I have some like kick drum samples, just to be a bit more authentic for whatever record I'm playing. I use Yamaha triggers as well, which are absolutely amazing. There's a few tunes where I've got like clap samples under the snare, just to kind of, again, to be more authentic. I get all the verbs in with the sample direct from the programmers, yeah, because we run to click, you know, all the tails are always going to be spot on and whatever. My ELO kit is very different to my Take That kit. On ELO I use a Yamaha 9000. It's like a mid-90s 9000. Bigger sizes, so for that I use like a 12, 13, 16, 18, 24-inch kick, 22-inch kick, and I use vintage snare drums on that. So yeah, it's a very different sounding kit because it fits in with that music, and it's sort of, you know, it's part of, you know, what I said with regards to serving the music. It fits that era of music, and I have Remo CS clears on the tops. I don't have any bottom heads on, so I've tried to make it as authentic as possible. And then when you come on the Take That kit, it's very modern sounding, very quick, very short and snappy and punchy, and it's sort of, I'm a bit geeky when it comes to that, because I like to have things completely different, so I can, you know, be the drummer in Take That's band or be the drummer in ELO's band, and it's very different sounding, and I get to show off my sort of versatility per gig, really. Okay, with regards to Jeff, and obviously, you know, an incredible musician, outstanding songwriter, producer, and I remember even before I met him, knowing how finicky he is about sounds and parts and stuff. So I took it as a challenge to really nail the drum sound. And I remember him coming into rehearsal and coming behind my kit and just hitting my snare, and he's saying, "That sounds really good." I was like, and it was just the relief I felt, like that I'd sort of been affirmed by this great man. It was awesome, really. And he was sort of in with the front of house engineer, having listened to the rehearsal tapes, and he was like, "Oh, I told him to turn your toms up because it's important for me to hear them." And I was like, "Wow, he's really listening." So it was quite a proud moment, actually. I think starting out now, you almost have to adopt the social media route. There's so many different avenues with that come under that umbrella. But I think ultimately, I'm a bit old school, and I think the proof is really in the pudding. And I believe if you're a great drummer and you practice and you're good at what you do, I really believe that your time will come. So whether it's playing in clubs, just joining bands and just playing around your local area, I don't know, there's just a way that good people get found. For me, the way I prep for a gig, it's about repetition for me. So I'll play the records over and over, whether it be in my car or around the house, while I'm doing a school run. I'll just have it and almost just make the music become really catchy, so I can sort of hear it when I'm not listening to it as well. And then I go through a routine. I have a notebook or whatever, and then I write down the sections. So like 8-bar intro, 16-bar verse, 4-bar pre-chorus, 32-bar chorus, and write it all down and write the structures of each song down. And all that's done prior to getting on a kit. I don't have a kit set up at home or anything, so it's very much all done up here on paper. And then when we get into rehearsal, it's like, okay, cool, sort of read my sort of scribbles back, and that way really, but along with the constant listening, so it's very much by ear. When I think of Versatility, my earliest memory of Versatility with regards to drummers would have to be Omar Hakim. I remember seeing him playing with Sting on is it Bring On the Night or Bring Out the Night, that album, and then somebody showed me some footage of him like playing with Madonna, and then somebody played me a record of him with Weather Report, and I was like, this one guy is doing all of these various genres. I want to be that guy, because in my head I was like, well, if I can do a bit of rock, if I can do a bit of pop, soul, hip hop, R&B, I can be the guy that all of these people want to call.